It's 2024. You're an old man. You have a whole family. You have a mortgage. You have bills. You're an old man. You turn on the TV. Is that the X-Men? Is that the X-Men from the 90s? From my youth? Is that the fucking X-Men? It sure is the fucking X-Men. And guess what? The fucking X-Men are back.
I was curious. I think maybe I heard right.
All right, you egg-sucking piece of gutter trash. You always liked pushing around people smaller than you. Well, I'm smaller. Try pushing me!
Okay. So everyone knows how much I like to talk negatively about shows and stuff, right? I'm not going to be able to do that this time. I'm sorry, guys. I know you like my negative rants. Not getting one tonight. Not gonna get one tonight. This is really good. Surprisingly good. Okay, so there's few things in the world that I love, pop culture wise. Well, maybe not a few things, but whatever. You got Star Wars. You got Lord of the Rings. You got the Ninja Turtles. You got Spider-Man. You got Batman. And then you got the motherfucking X-Men. When I say I'm a big X-Men fan, I am a huge X-Men fan. Well, I'm not a huge X-Men fan. I'm not that big of a fan of anything because I've always been poor my whole life. Got some comic books, got the comic book cards, played the games, loved the cartoon, all the great stuff. Know a lot about certain characters. And that 1990s television show was, to me, at the time, was one of the greatest things. Animation was complete dog shit. A lot of the voice actors and not just the main cast, for just the whole show, for the background characters, everything, side characters, were a little bit comical and a little bit of a joke. Even as a kid, you grow up watching these cartoons and you watch, you finish an episode of Batman the Animated Series and then you put on the X-Men and there's a big fucking difference in quality. But despite all of that, the show was so popular because it was for a kid, it was kind of adult. It kind of gave you that adult feeling. You had some really great storylines that they transferred over from the comic book. You had some great themes, some great stakes, characters fucking dying. I mean, not dying, but dying. So it was great watching that show, and I have very, very fond memories of Saturday morning rolling around. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, so unfortunately for me, Saturdays I was normally knocking on one of your doors with a watchtower and a wake in my hand. But if I wasn't out in field service, I would wake up and just prep myself for the new episode of the fucking X-Men. And if I had to go out in field service, I'd started just record them on video cassette, on VHS. Loved this show. I loved this show growing up. I never saw the complete series. I think, but towards the end, I was getting a little bit older, and there were more important things out there like vagina that I was paying attention to at that point. But I did. I love this. I love the show growing up, and I love these characters. Love them. I was telling my wife earlier, I was like, when you look at Marvel, Marvel is, in my mind, it's like split in half. You have all these great characters, and then you got the X-Men characters. It's like the X universe is like its own half of Marvel. That's how big these mutant characters are. It's like its own separate thing sometimes. Such a big deal. Such great characters. So when they announced this show, I knew, I was like, this is gonna suck dicks hard. And I was like, I hope they don't fuck this up. And they didn't. And one thing, well, let me talk about the show first. So, show starts up. I saw a little few clips. I think the first trailer I saw, I was kind of disappointed. And I was like, Gambit's charging up Wolverine's blades. That's Wolverine's carrying Gambit on his back as he runs full speed. Okay, but then I was like, you know what? Let me give this show a chance. Out of respect to the original show. Again, these shows are made for a newer generation, made for kids. So, whatever. There was stupid stuff in the original cartoon because we were stupid kids watching a cartoon. And this is a cartoon for the newer generation of stupid kids. So I'm like, whatever. Let me watch it and just see what it's like. I want to say I was blown away. I was blown away that they were able to not only keep the level of maturity, but to raise it. So they did, make a show for kids that kids, bigger kids, could watch, but also adults can enjoy it. The animation wasn't the best I've seen, but it was obviously much better than in the 90s. A lot of the voice actors came back, all did great jobs except for Rogue. She didn't do a bad job. She just sounded like a senior citizen, which is what she is. So I guess she sounded the way she's supposed to. But all the other ones sounded pretty much the same. Xavier sounded different. I don't know if that's the same actor or not, but action. They had some really good action. That first episode where they are fighting the Sentinels. Like I said, I'm a full adult, and I'm watching this shit and I'm smiling like a little kid. The action was obviously much better because they're able to do a lot more with animation now. So you're really getting to see the X-Men do the X-Men things. It, they respect the characters' power levels, which I like. You have Wolverine doing groundwork, and then when all the Sentinels get raised up, when Master Mold starts raising all the Sentinels up, the heavy hitter comes in, fucking Storm. Gold team leader approaches and just knocks them all out. So I really appreciated that. Some of the dialogue was a little, I don't know, a little weird, I guess. It's hard to explain. Some of the parts were a little weird with the dialogue, with the non-main, with the cast. Can't speak. With the other characters that weren't in the main cast. But other than that, I'm just thinking of negative things. Other than that, thought the show was great. The way they handled Magneto and his power, the way they paid tribute to his relationship with Charles, the fact that they're throwing little tidbits in from the comic that you didn't see in the original cartoon, but if you're a comic book fan, you know about, like Magneto and Rogue being able to touch each other. Little things like that were much appreciated to me. And I really enjoyed it. I was really surprised. If Marvel / Disney does it properly, they can resurrect the husk of Marvel Cinematic Universe with the X-Men. If you do it properly, you can really, it's the X-Men. You just got to do it right. So one thing I didn't like is it seemed, I don't know, and this was just maybe, obviously it's just a second episode, who knows what's going to happen, but if they keep Storm out of the show and she's powerless throughout the whole series, I'm going to be mad. It was like they said, look, we're going to put Bishop in, but we don't want too many black characters in these shows, so let's just depower one and send her packing. Scott and Jean, no, the fake Jeans, baby being born. It's like watching those two episodes was like really getting back into the series. This love letter to the original series, a welcome back notice, and a great preview of what's to come for the other episodes. So I'm really looking forward to the rest of it. I don't like to watch things piecemeal. I just had to get a glimpse to see what it was like, and they got me hooked. So I'm gonna wait till, I think all the episodes will air by May or something like that. So I'll wait till May just so I can watch them back to back. I don't have to sit and wait week by week. But yeah, fucking surprising, right? I couldn't believe it. Hopefully, with the MCU, what they should have done is they should have had Spider-Man in the last movie where there was a different dimensions. They should have had him get thrown into another dimension where he meets Spider-Man in the actual, how can I say this, in the new Marvel universe. So it could have been a Marvel universe that's more accurate to the comic books. You could have still you could hire someone to sound like Robert Downey Jr. Captain and Iron Man wears a mask, so you can have Iron Man still alive, but don't. It's not Robert Downey Jr. You won't know because he'll just do like little appearances here and there. Captain America could still be alive. He wears a mask, so you can't really tell. So those characters can be alive. Avengers already had their story, so we don't need to see them anymore as actual story. But they could do pop-ins here and there. And in this new universe, all of these people exist, and the X-Men are there, and that's how they can that's how they should have restarted everything, but they didn't. So I'm curious to see how they bring the X-Men in, and if they bring the X-Men in. But if they do it properly and they're respectful, then MCU might be back. After seeing this, I have a little bit more faith in what they can do. So if you can check this out, don't pay Disney, fuck them. But if you can get this somewhere for free, like I get my stuff, check it out. This you will, if you're an X-Men fan, you will really enjoy this. Especially if you're a fan of the original cartoon, you will really enjoy this. I'm looking forward to different villains, Sabretooth, Juggernaut. I hope they bring all these people in. Nightcrawler's supposed to be in this. Nightcrawler's one of my favorite characters in fiction. So hopefully he has a good amount of scenes in this. And there was no agenda being pushed yet. Who knows? Morph is looking a little effeminate, so. But at least it's not a black character that's effeminate. Who knows? But what they're gonna do? But there was no like real agenda pushing. I thought the Friends of Humanity, were really like the KKK. There were a lot of whites in the Friends of Humanity, and I was like, well, the white supremacists are going to be angry. But no, they had different races because they're not supposed to be the KKK. They're supposed to be representative of the KKK, but it's really just a group of humans, all races who don't like mutants. So, I don't know. I just wanted to make this video because I normally don't make videos praising things, and I had to give this some praise because it was very well done. Music and everything, it was just well done. I want to see what happens between Gambit and Magneto because Magneto is pushing up on his girl. There's a lot of opportunities. So let's hope we get something good.